Welcome to my review of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, a game that's been on the back burner of my gaming catalog for a couple years now. I'm very happy that I finally got the chance to play through it. I would consider myself a Soulsborne veteran. I've played through Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Elden Ring. I would say that I'm pretty knowledgeable in the gameplay mechanics, the lore, about these games. So I feel like I come from a very interesting perspective having played this last. And I would have to say that Sekiro was quite surprising in a lot of great ways. And I would have to say that this is probably the best gameplay that I've played from any of these Soulsborne games, which is very surprising for me to say. And not something that I thought I would come out of this experience with. But in this review, we're going to go over a few different aspects of the game. First of all, we're going to go over the presentation, which would include the graphics and sound. Then we're going to go over the gameplay, then story, and then finally at the very end I'll give my actual rating of the game, which will be out of 10. This is the first type of video on my channel that I've done like this, an actual review. Hopefully first of many to come. We'll probably do a whole series on prior games that I've played, retrospectives, things like that. But I hope you guys enjoy. Please let me know what you think. Please leave your comments below. Anything that any feedback you provide will help me greatly, as again I want to keep making these kinds of videos and making great content for you guys. So hope you enjoy. Sekiro is a game that came out in 2019, and regarding its presentation, specifically the graphics, it's phenomenal. It's beautiful to look at. But really where it takes the cake, it's its art direction. It takes place in an ancient feudal Japan. So you'll see things that you would expect to see, right? Like cherry blossoms, the mountains, all that kind of stuff. And you'll get to see all that, and it's beautiful, from its villages to temples. But really it takes you a lot of places you didn't expect to see. Crazy underground caves, secret areas, and they're all just gorgeous to look at. It has a lot of those moments where you're coming out of a temple or a cave or something, you're opening up, and just epic areas you just have to pan the camera and just take in. It's just beautiful. Just epic moments, just like the one you're looking at right now, that I just wasn't expecting to see. Battles in flower fields with samurais, with ash and flowers flying in the air. And really the sound design is just as great as the graphics, in my opinion. The sound of swords clashing in this game is just awesome. When you get that deflect, or you're fighting with another samurai, it's just epic. It's awesome. With the music, I'll say something that's a lot different that I noticed from other Soulsborne games is just that music's a lot more present. Meaning, if you look back into Dark Souls, there's not a lot of music playing, Fire League Shrine, boss battles, all that kind of stuff. But really, it's pretty quiet aside from you fighting the enemies and ambient noises, right? This game has it's more intentional with its music. It's throughout, your exploration, boss battles, cutscenes. But I think it's done very well. It fits the theme. It's not done, I think, overboard. It's not like music that doesn't go with what you're doing. But now let's go over the sweet, sweet gameplay of Sekiro. When you talk about Sekiro's gameplay, you have to go over the difficulty. Most of these Soulsborne games, or from software titles in general, are known for their difficulty, and Sekiro is no different. It doesn't deviate away from that. And I will say that it's probably the most difficult game that I've played in their library. Harder than Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne, Demon Souls. And the difference, I think, is that there's no way around it. You have to learn the mechanics. You have to get good. I feel like games like Dark Souls 1, Demon Souls, Elden Ring, you can get overpowered, get specific weapons and items, level up. And this game, there's a bit of that, but in reality, you just gotta learn how to play the game. And that can be very difficult because it's so different. And I think coming from other games in the Soulsborne genre, it might actually do you harm. For me, when I first started playing, I was trying to dodge, roll out of everything, use my iframes or whatever. But in reality, you want to be in front of the opponent. You want to engage, you want to be deflecting and attacking, jumping on them, using parries, because in this game what you're doing is you're battling their health bar, sure, but you're battling posture. And posture is a bar that you'll see at the top of the screen where you're trying to continually be aggressive, deflect, and as that bar increases, you'll get a death blow. And for most regular enemies, a death blow, you see a little red dot show up on their body. That's death for them, they're dead. Bosses, they'll have a certain amount of death blows you gotta do. But really, this game, it's the best way to explain it, it's like a dance. And trust me, for me too, at first I had moments where I was like, man, I don't know how this works, I'm so confused. But then it clicks. You know, you start parrying, you start getting in front of the opponent, you start really feeling out the mechanics of this specific game, and it feels awesome. It's buttery smooth. And along with the sword play, you'll also get prosthetic arm early on in the game, which allows you to use different tools. A bunch of tools that include firecrackers, a defensive umbrella, a finger that's used as a whistle, axe, shurikens, and you can carry up to 3 at a time that you can use as long as you have the little spirit emblems at the bottom right of the HUD. With that, it adds a lot of variety to the combat. You can play more defensively, offensively, or just switch it up as you go, depending on the enemy. And some are just honestly broken. But you get to choose the path that you want to upgrade your items. You need specific upgrade items and loot to do so. You pick up in the map or from enemies. But I love the prosthetic tools. I ended up, going to the easy ones that make a lot of sense, like the loaded axe there, the shuriken, the flame vent, that really helped me out with enemies that were just annoying. And some like the loaded axe, for example, is used on enemies with barriers to break posture easier. Shuriken from a distance. The flame vent is good against enemies that are weak to fire or constant flames. And then along with that too, we have a skills tree that's different from the prosthetic upgrade, which you can do things that have permanent buffs to your stealth, to the amount of spirit emblems you can carry, to specific skills with your sword that you can use in combat. And there's some skills that honestly feel like you need to have them, like the Mikiri counter, for example, which is something that is pretty much a counter to thrust moves, such as what you're seeing here. And it's absolutely necessary. So quick tip is get that right away. Sekiro also has a big emphasis on stealth, which is a little bit different than other Soulsborne games, and it's done very well. I was honestly really bad at that, but at least I get a couple kills in, and stealth was actually pretty OP. You can get a kill on a death blow on someone, the backstab, run back, come back and keep doing that over and over again if you wanted, which was pretty helpful. You could cheese some, areas out like that, but the stealth is otherwise done very well, and it fits the theme of the gameplay too. Another part of Sekiro that really shocked me was its exploration and how fun that was. Early on in the game, you get a grappling hook essentially that allows you to travel vertically, reach places that you couldn't otherwise get to. And that's a big part of what makes it fun. But really, Sekiro rewards you for going different areas and paths and exploring, which a lot of games don't really do it like Sekiro. You'll end up going to a spot that doesn't seem like much, and then it'll open up and you'll just keep going and going. You'll find secret weapons or items, secret bosses, which are plenty of in this game. And it was just super fun. That was probably my favorite aspect of the game overall, is just being rewarded for exploring and always feeling like there was something to find around the corner. Sekiro, obviously, along with its visuals, the gameplay, the exploration is just up there as well in terms of top-notch gameplay. One negative that I'll say about Sekiro, and really with most of Soulsborne titles, it's the side quests and the NPCs. I am a big fan of just letting the player figure it out and not really putting, shoving information in their faces to, where to go, how to do certain things. But Sekiro, I really felt, made that harder than the other games. Like, you can progress and totally skip side quests and you can't go back to them. And I personally feel, and I guess it's just a general negative of these games, in my opinion at this point, is that lack of guidance in terms of the side quests and stuff. And again, I'm a big fan of the way they do these games, but to me, especially Sekiro, that really bugged me, and probably the biggest gripe that I have against this game. Unlike other Soulsborne games, Sekiro does take a bigger emphasis on the story, a bit more cutscenes, a bit more in your face with what's going on, a little bit more direction as to where to go, what to do, what's happening. But there are a lot of themes involved here, a lot of what I would say like cycle of repetition in history that really left me intrigued. And of course, like every other Soulsborne game, there's a bunch you can dive into if you choose to do that, but it doesn't make you invest into the lore, read every item, as we've experienced in other Soulsborne games. But definitely the story here, it's a bit more involved, and I enjoyed it a lot. You start out as an orphan after a huge war, and you turn into this master samurai, total badass, and you're left to protect this child, the divine heir, who is looking to essentially end Dragon's Blood, as I understood it, and your journey to protect him and see how you end up in your own journey here, which there's a lot of actually back and forth in terms of who you should follow, who you should protect. And in the middle of the game, it's funny because there's a big decision you get to make, and I won't spoil it for you, but it's a huge decision that could either end the game right there after a boss battle, or you can keep going for another half of the game, essentially, maybe a little less. But it really shocked me because I made the wrong choice, and I ended the game early the first time, and thankfully I had a cloud save. So just know, be careful for that choice, and do the choice that allows you to see the whole game first, and then go back to that, maybe have a cloud save, because that really shocked me and that was really disappointing for a second until I figured out, oh, I still had a save. But anyways, story of Sekiro, again, very similar to Soulsborne fashion, but a little bit more in your face, and I personally loved it. And there's a lot to dive into if you want to get into lore, and heavy amounts of information can be found, on YouTube and all that. So in the end, what would I give Sekiro out of 10? Well, as you saw, I don't have many negative things to say about the game aside from side quests, the NPCs, and the lack of guidance there. Sekiro really highlighted that for me, how frustrating it could be to miss out on some things. It could be very tough without a guide or prior knowledge to know how to proceed in those quests. But aside from that, and a few bad bosses, specifically puzzle bosses that I didn't really enjoy, the game is phenomenal. It is in every aspect, graphically, sound design, gameplay, exploration. It is up there with the best of the Souls games. It is very unique, and I would say if it's not my favorite, it's top 3. Maybe in time that will change, but it is up there as the best game in From Software's library, and one of the best games of that decade. I'm really glad I got the opportunity to play it. I would definitely recommend it to everyone. There's going to be some difficulty spots, but I promise you, if you put the time in and you're enjoying the game, you will get through it. And yeah, I definitely give a Sekiro a 10 out of 10. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be a lot more to come. Please like and subscribe. Please leave your feedback as well. Again, the first of many, hopefully, videos that I'll do similar to this one. So I just want to get better as I go, and hopefully, provide even better quality content as time goes by. But thanks again, Dual Shooter here, and keep gaming.